Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aida Maharani. I will explain about goals. Curriculum design has a goals as its center to decide why the course is being taught and what the learner need from it. Goals can be expressed in general terms and be given more detail when considering the content of the course. For example of goals is first, the aim of communicative teaching is to encourage students to exploit all the elements of the language that they know in order to make their meanings clear. Students can be expected to master every aspect to the language before they are allowed to use it for communicative purpose. And second, trio aims to first encourage students to communicative in a wide range of everyday situation. B. Sustain interest and motivation. C. Help students understand and formulate the grammatical rules of English. D. Develop students' receptive skills beyond those of their productive skills. E. Give students insight into daily life in Britain. F. Develop specific skills, including skills required for examination purpose. And G. Contribute to the students' personal, social, and educational development. And 3. Passage extends students' communicative competence by developing their ability to expand the range of topics they can discuss and comprehend in English, and then speak English fluently or express a wide range of ideas without unnecessary pause or breakdowns in communication. And next, speak English accurately or use an acceptable standard of pronunciation and grammar when communicating. And thus, students continue to develop speaking and listening skills necessary for participating in classroom discussion with an introduction to oral presentation and critical listening skills. Next material is content and sequencing. The content of language course consists of the language items, ideas, skills, and strategy that meet the goals of the course. The viewpoint taken in this book is that even though the units of progression in a course may be tasks, topics, or themes, it is important for the curriculum designer to keep some check on vocabulary, grammar, and discourse to make sure that important items are being covered and repeated. If there is no check being met, it may happen that learners are not meeting items that are important for their later use of the language. It may also happen that items are not being met often enough to establish them. One way to provide a systematic and well-researched basis for a course is to make use of frequency lists and other lists of language items or skills. This list should be chosen and adapted as a result of need analysis in order to set the language learning content of the course. A list may be used as a way of checking or determining the content of a course, but doesn't mean that the lesson have to consist of item by item teaching. Typical lists include first, frequency-based vocabulary list. This consists of lists of words with indicator of their frequency of occurrence. Perhaps the best known is Michelle West's General Service List of English words, which contains 2,000 high-frequency word families. This is a good search for courses at the beginner and intermediate level. The Cambridge English Lexicon and the first 1,000, second 1,000, and third 1,000 lists produced by the English Language Institute. And second, frequency list of verb forms and verb group. This contains the items such as simple past, present continuous, verb plus to plus stem, or where the stem is dominant, going to plus stem, and can plus stem or ability, along with information about their frequency of occurrence, mainly in written text. The most striking feature of this list is the very high frequency of a small number of items, such as simple past, verb plus to plus stem, and the very low frequency of most of the items studied, or many of which are given unjustified prominence in many course books and grading schemes for simplified readers. This list can be found in George 1963A, 1963B, and 1963C. See also Appendix 1 of this book. The more recent Bieber et al. Grammar contains frequency information. Comparison of beginner's book of published course with this list show that the course book contain a mixture of high frequency and low frequency items and could be considerably improved with more informed selection. And third, list of functions and topics. These lists are not frequency based, and as a result, selection of items must be based on perceived need, which is less reliable than frequency evidence. The most useful of the available lists is Van Eyck and Alexander. 4. List of subskills and strategy. This includes the subskill of listening, speaking, reading and writing, and language copying and learning strategies. There are lists of tasks, topics and themes that curriculum designer can refer to. Manby, 1968, Van Eyck and Alexander, 1980, Prabhu, 1987. But it is better for curriculum designer to develop their own list. Material is finding a format and presenting material. Format has dealing with presenting material. Format is about how the material are arranged and formed. In the delivery of the material in course for learner in deliver in the form of one such presentation. In making a presentation, have sort used as a basis for a lesson will have a decisive effect on the ease of making lesson. The advantage to have a set format for lesson that is first easier to make. It's mean because each one doesn't have to be planned separately. Second, easier to monitor. It means it will be easy to check if all that should be included is there and that accept principles are being followed. Third, easier to learn. It means it makes the lesson easier to learn from because the learner can predict what will occur and are soon familiar with the learning procedure required by different parts of the lesson. The search of the material used as a basis for the lesson will have decisive effect on the ease of making the lesson and of the possibility of future distribution or publication of the course. A shortcut here is simply to take suitable material from other courses, adapting it as required. This concerns not only presentation but also selection aspects, such as sequencing and the amount of time given to flashy work. The lesson format needs to be checked against the environment analysis of the course to make sure that the major environment factors are being considered. Because curriculum design is not a linear process, it may be necessary to alter the content or sequencing to suit the lesson format and record the list of environmental factors. The lesson may still require adjustment as a result of consideration of other stage of the curriculum design. Next material is monitoring and assessing. The aims of curriculum design are to make a course that has useful goals, that achieves its goals, that satisfies its user, and that does all this in an efficient way. An important requiring part of the design process is to assess how well these aims are achieved. And the last material is evaluating a course. The last process in designing course is evaluating. The course will be evaluated as a whole in evaluation process. And information gained from assessment is one of useful source of data about the effectiveness of a course. Basically, evaluation that to answer the question. And the example is this a good course? Program evaluation that first step in evaluation, second type and focus of evaluation, third gathering information, fourth working with the result. Good course determiners first attract a lot of students, make a lot of money, third satisfies the learners, fourth satisfies the teachers, fifth satisfies the sponsor, and the last help learner gain high scores is an external test. Okay, I think it's enough from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.